In the early hours of May 10, 1940, German forces surged through the Ardennes, a feat of speed and endurance that stunned the Allied forces. The secret behind their rapid advance? A little-known stimulant called Pervitin. In 1937, German chemist Fritz Hauschild achieved a breakthrough by synthesizing methamphetamine, commercialized under the trade name Pervatin. Initially introduced as a non-prescription medicine, Pervatin was marketed as a miraculous pill capable of banishing fatigue and enhancing mood and alertness. Advertisements touted it as a solution for a range of ailments, from depression to chronic weariness, and even as an aid for weight loss. German citizens, including homemakers and factory workers, quickly embraced the stimulant, its use becoming a part of daily life for many. The transformation of Pervitin from a civilian energizer to a military asset began as the drug caught the attention of the German army's medical officers. Observing its effects on the general population, they speculated on its potential utility in warfare. Early tests in military settings underscored Pervitin's ability to sustain wakefulness and reduce the perception of fatigue among soldiers. In the context of Blitzkrieg, a strategy reliant on speed and surprise, the ability to push troops beyond typical physical limits without the need for rest became a strategic advantage. By the time of the invasion of Poland in 1939, Pervitin was being distributed in large quantities to the Wehrmacht. When German forces stormed through the Ardennes in 1940, each soldier was equipped with a ration of Pervitin tablets. Reports from the front lines documented instances where soldiers remained active for up to 72 hours straight, thanks to the drug. A letter from a German infantryman to his family explicitly detailed his experience with Pervitin, noting, "It's tough out here, but Pervitin keeps us going. Sleep is a stranger to us." Yet, the widespread use of Pervitin was not without its consequences. While it enabled extraordinary feats of endurance, it also led to severe health issues among the troops. Cases of hallucinations, heart problems, and psychological disorders became increasingly common, raising concerns among some military physicians about the long-term effects of the drug on soldiers' health. Despite these warnings, the German military continued to issue Pervitin throughout the war, viewing it as essential for the success of their military campaigns. Its role became particularly pronounced during key operations such as the Blitzkrieg campaigns, where rapid, sustained assaults were crucial. The drug's impact on these operations was undeniable, allowing German troops to execute fast-paced maneuvers that bewildered and overwhelmed enemy forces, which were crucial in the initial successes that Germany enjoyed. As Pervitin's use became more institutionalized within the German military, it also mirrored a darker reflection of the regime's ethos, where human limits were aggressively pushed in pursuit of warfare objectives. This aspect of Pervitin's history not only highlights the lengths to which the Nazi regime would go to secure victory, but also poses ethical questions about the manipulation of human capacities in times of war. The legacy of Pervitin, therefore, is twofold. It was both a tool that contributed to temporary military successes and a catalyst for significant human suffering, revealing the complex interplay between medicine, military strategy, and ethical boundaries in warfare. In the whirlwind advance known as the Blitzkrieg, which redefined warfare with its fast-paced and coordinated attacks, a less visible component played a crucial role: Pervitin. This stimulant, methamphetamine, was massively distributed to German troops during the invasions of Poland in September 1939 and France in May 1940. The logistical feat of equipping an entire army corps with Pervitin illustrates its critical role in Nazi military strategy. Military records reveal that over 35 million doses of Pervitin were ordered by the Wehrmacht as they prepared for the invasion of France. The drug was seen not merely as a booster, but as essential military gear, ensuring soldiers could fight longer, march farther, and sleep less. The effects on soldiers were immediate and significant. Troops were able to maintain their relentless advance, often marching for days with minimal rest. A journal entry from a German soldier, dated June 1940, explicitly states, "With Pervitin, you march 30, 40, 50 kilometers without feeling fatigued." Similarly, a commander from the 4th Panzer Division noted in a report dated May 16, 1940, "Pervatin has been invaluable for night operations, providing our drivers and troops with the alertness needed to exploit every tactical advantage." The personal accounts from soldiers and commanders underscore the transformational impact of Pervitin. One poignant recollection comes from a young infantryman who wrote to his family in July 1940, "We fight through the nights. Thanks to Pervitin, we hardly notice the exhaustion." His words not only highlight the drug's effectiveness, but also hint at the unnatural strain placed on the human body. These first-hand experiences, echoed in numerous personal letters and military communications, reveal a dual-edged sword. Enhanced performance came at a significant personal cost. Moreover, the strategic employment of Pervitin facilitated the infamous rapid thrusts deep into enemy territory, which were characteristic of the Blitzkrieg. By enabling soldiers to operate efficiently without regular sleep, German forces could implement relentless and unexpected maneuvers, often surprising and encircling enemy units. The success at the Battle of Sedan, which was pivotal in the fall of France, was partly attributed to the hyper-alert state of German soldiers, facilitated by Pervitin. Post-battle reports from German generals frequently credited the drug with maintaining troop stamina and morale during critical phases of the campaign. However, while Pervitin delivered these short-term military advantages, the long-term effects began to surface as the war dragged on. Reports of addiction, psychological disorders, and severe physical depletion among troops who had relied on the drug became increasingly common. The initial military assessments that lauded Pervitin's benefits were gradually overshadowed by medical and ethical concerns. The wonder drug, which had enabled the feats of superhuman stamina and alertness, began to reveal a much darker legacy. The enduring impact on the health and well-being of the soldiers who consumed Pervitin became a poignant testament to the true cost of this pharmacological experiment in modern warfare. The aftermath of Pervitin's extensive use among troops during World War II gradually unfolded as a grim chapter in the history of military pharmacology. In the immediate post-war years, numerous reports emerged detailing addiction issues and long-term health complications faced by veterans who had relied on the stimulant to sustain prolonged combat readiness. By the late 1940s, studies such as those conducted by the U.S. Army Medical Corps began to record and analyze these adverse effects, marking a crucial shift in the understanding of wartime drug use. Veterans, like Hans Müller, a former Wehrmacht soldier interviewed in 1952, recounted their harrowing experiences with addiction, which often began innocuously. "It was just to keep awake at first," Müller stated in a recorded interview, "but soon I couldn't face the day without it." His story was not unique. The addiction rates among former soldiers pointed to a broader, more systemic issue that had been overlooked in the heat of battle. Medical journals from the era, including the German Medical Weekly, published articles discussing the alarming prevalence of methamphetamine addiction, with one 1948 report estimating that around 150,000 German veterans faced such struggles. But the issues extended beyond individual health problems. The ethical implications of Pervitin use were profound and multifaceted. Military leaders and strategists had to reconsider the cost of artificially enhanced soldier performance. Ethical debates raged within military and medical circles, as documented in the proceedings of the 1950 Military Ethics Conference in Geneva, where the use of stimulants in combat was a major topic of discussion. Dr. Erich Friedrich, a prominent military ethicist, argued during the conference, What we allowed was a manipulation of human biology without fully understanding the consequences, highlighting the ethical breach in terms of consent and informed decision-making. This ethical scrutiny has had lasting effects on modern military policies. The legacy of Pervitin prompted significant changes in how militaries around the world manage the use of performance-enhancing drugs. By the 1960s, NATO had established clearer guidelines on the use of stimulants, balancing the need for alertness during missions with health and ethical considerations. Countries like the United States developed controlled usage protocols, which were evident during the Gulf War, where modafinil was used under strict medical supervision to manage fatigue among troops. The impact of Pervitin also permeated public and academic discourse, leading to a broader understanding of the ethical and human rights dimensions of drug use in military contexts. Scholarly works such as Stimulants in the Shadows, The Ethics of Chemical Warfare by Dr. Susan R. Jones explore these issues in depth, offering a critical view of past practices and proposing frameworks for ethical decision-making that respect the agency and health of soldiers. In conclusion, the story of Pervitin is a cautionary tale of the intersection between military innovation and human values. It serves as a reminder of the need for rigorous ethical standards and thorough understanding of long-term impacts when integrating pharmacological solutions in military operations. This reflection is not only about respecting the past, but also about safeguarding the future by ensuring that the health and well-being of soldiers are never compromised in the quest for tactical advantages. As the sun rose on the war-torn landscapes of Europe, the side effects of Pervitin began to cast a long shadow over its initial success, leaving a complex legacy of innovation marred by ethical and health concerns. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe for more fascinating historical deep dives every week. Thanks for watching.